Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. A. Shankar Kumar, Assistant Professor of Public Administration, working at Government Degree College, Malkajgiri, Medchal District, Telangana State. Today, I'm going to discuss the topic is role of Prime Minister in Indian administration. So, the Prime Minister role exclusively or specific to the context of Indian administration. So before going to discuss the role of Prime Minister, the Prime Minister role can be divided into various parts. How the Prime Minister is appointed, elected, what are the procedures in the Constitution, then what are the provisions related to the Constitution, relationship with the Prime Minister, with the President of India, with Council of Ministers, Foreign Affairs, diplomatic powers, and other responsibilities. And lastly, the role of Prime Minister, what are the changing context. So in details in the parliamentary form of nature of administration of the India, so the Prime Minister's role can be analyzed in various parts. So first one part of the presentation is introduction. So Prime Ministers in the scheme of parliamentary system of the government provided by the Indian Constitution, the President is the nominal executive. That means the de jure executive. And then the next de facto executive is that means real executive is the Prime Minister of India. In other words, President is the head of the state, while Prime Minister is the head of the government. So state head and government head. So Prime Minister is the government head. Certain conditions mentioned in the Constitution regarding the appointment. So the next topic is appointment of the Prime Minister is the Indian Constitution, Article 75, particularly specific focus. The Prime Minister shall be appointed by the President. So the President has to appoint the leader to the majority party in Lok Sabha as the Prime Minister. That is the one kind of case. And the second point of case is when no party has clearly majority in general Lok Sabha or any type of elections, the President will usually appoints the leader of the largest party or a coalition in the Lok Sabha as Prime Minister. And in case of these opportunities provided to the various party leaders, and then the President has seek a vote of confidence in the House within a month. So there is a certain procedure, rules and regulations for fame, and then the so many Supreme Court judgments are also given in the various contexts regarding the loss of majority, and next forming the coalition parties, withdrawal of majority from the supporting of the various form of government. So in the various countries, the Supreme Courts and High Court judgments also were validated. And then next, eligibility of the Prime Minister of India is constitutionally the Prime Minister may be a member of any of the two houses of Parliament, either one Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. It's a mandatory. In 1997, the Supreme Court held that a person who is not a member of either House of Parliament can be appointed as Prime Minister for 6 months. Within 6 months, the appointed Prime Minister should become a member of either House of Parliament. Otherwise, he ceased to be the Prime Minister. So there is a certain relaxations also given in the Constitution. So a not member of the either houses can be also appointed as the Prime Minister. So in various cases we have seen, in cases of various, suppose the Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi was not the member of either houses, and then she appointed as the Prime Minister, and then she elected within 6 months. This is also one kind of natures. The judgment of the Supreme Court, earlier it was not happened. And the next certain conditions, oath, term, and salaries also specifically focus on that. The oath generally administers by the President of India. The President administers the Prime Minister's oath of office and secrecy. So in the name of God or something. So this is a formalities focus was mentioned in the Constitution. And the next term is the term of the Prime Minister is so long as the enjoys the majority support in the Lok Sabha. But generally the term of the Prime Minister is 5 years. But Prime Minister will enjoy the power as he support the majority in the Lok Sabha. So normally has the confidence in the Lok Sabha. So particularly in 75, Article 3 specifically focus the collective responsibility to the Lok Sabha. So the Prime Minister's role is mostly in the will be focused on the Lok Sabha. And the next salary. The salary and allowances of the Prime Ministers are determined by the Parliament from time to time. So depending upon the act, recently the act was also amended and the salaries are and other allowances are raised. So mostly in every 10 years or 15 years it will be happen. But recently really 13 billion or something. So it is not a particular in form of salary, but the salaries will also be provided like a MP of the Lok Sabha also. And next the other allowances also provided to the Prime Minister of India. And the Prime Minister office is the most important office to aid and assist to the Prime Ministers. It is not a constitutional office. It is not mentioned in the Constitution Prime Minister's office, but it is like a informal office. But this the office is played a more and major role with the policy formulation and adopting new policies and advice to the Prime Minister of India in the form of various administrative reforms and other forms. This is also the Prime Minister's office. And next, uh, removal of the Prime Ministers. Generally, the President is the head of the government. So when the President generally enjoys the 5 years of terms, but if he get again mandate of the people and majority seats in the Lok Sabha, that means the 50% plus 1. So normally 545. So among the 545, 272 plus 1. So 273 seats will get a party, either single party or coalition party systems. The party will run the government system. So this is the mentions in the constitution. And next, the most powers and functions of the uh, Prime Minister of India is the Prime Minister's focus on the Constitution 74, 75, and 78. These are the main article related to the Prime Minister of India directly. But indirectly, the Constitution articles lies various, depends upon the aids and advice to the various organizations. So in relation to the Council of Ministers, the Prime Minister of India recommends a person who can be appointed as ministers by the President. So actually the Prime Minister appoints ministers either in Council of Ministers. But when the Prime Minister is appoints the ministers, with the recommendations with the recommendations of the Prime Minister only. So Prime Minister is the head of the government. So President will certainly obey the recommendations of the Prime Minister of India. And next, Prime Minister allocates and reshuffles various portfolios among the ministers. So the cabinet ministers, state ministers, deputy ministers. In India, we have following a 3 type of ministry systems. But cabinet is the key posters, certain finance, defense, next home affairs. These are the nearly 10 to 15 ministries or portfolios are very strong. This is called a kind of cabinet and kitchen cabinet in the form of India. So the Prime Minister's choice is the most important. Which portfolio is the priority should be given to whom, and which minister is it's like a confidence. So the allocation and reshuffles depends upon the confidence of the Prime Minister of India. And next, Prime Minister can ask a minister to resign or advise the President to dismiss him in case of difference of opinion. So certain ministries directly single party system, or when coalition party systems, the party's opinion may be different. So forming government in coalition parties, so some party system can't obey the maybe differ the policy matters regarding the Prime Ministers will lead. So sometimes then they oppose the Prime Minister decision, then the Prime Minister will ask the minister to resign immediately. So, and then advise the Prime Minister to the certain ministries resignation should accept as early as possible. So if a minister can't resign, when the Prime Minister warning to him, then automatically Prime Minister will resign. Prime Minister will resign and entire the government will be collapsed. Again, the Prime Minister will form a new government. then automatically the ministers who disobey the orders of the Prime Minister of India will automatically dismiss from the government. So such kind of systems is also in Indian administration, and the constitution is also specifically focused. And the President of India presides over the meeting of Council of Ministers and influence the decisions. So every within 15 days, it's a time to meet the cabinet at least once or 2 months in once. The Council of Ministers meeting will be held to discuss the various policy matters of the country. Then the Prime Minister guides, directs, controls, and coordinates the activities of the all ministers, irrespective of cabinet, state, deputy ministers, but he is the head, and all ministers should obey the order of the Prime Minister of India, and they have to follow these certainly guidelines. Why? And they will directly control within the limits of the Prime Minister. And next, the Prime Minister can bring about the collapse of the Council of all the ministers by resigning from office. So the entire government will be collapsed when these things will be happen. This is the one kind of powers and functions. And next point is in relation to the President of India. So President of India is the nominal or titular head, and the Prime Minister is the real or de facto head of the government. So the Prime Minister is the principal channel of communication between the President and the Council of Ministers. That means like a bridge. One side President of India and one side is Council of Ministers. So he communicates between two channels. So the Prime Minister communicates to the President all decisions, affairs of the Council of Ministers, Union, and proposal for legislation. So the government brings various lot of new policies, new amendments, new affairs, countries to countries affairs. This will be discussed within the Council of Ministers, and then the Prime Minister will inform whatever decision were taken at the Council of Ministers. And at the same time, frequently, the Prime Minister also meets to the President of India. And then President of India is also advised certain reforms or certain policy matters, and other some things. So then the President, whatever informed or aid and advice, the President's advice will inform to the Council of Ministers through Prime Minister of India. And next, Prime Minister advised the President with regard to the appointment of important officials. So normally appointments were made by the President of India, but 100% the aid and advice with the help of the Prime Minister also. So Attorney General of India, Kagi, Controller and Auditor General of India, Chairman and members of the UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, Election Commission, Chairman and members, Finance Commission, Chairman and members, and various forms of commissions, SC Commission, ST Commission, BC Commission, Women Commission, Minority Commissions, and other Right to Information Commission, and other forms of various different committees. The members and chairmen will be appointed by the President of India with aid and advice or with the recommendation of the Prime Minister of India. So in relation to the President, The total affairs of the country will be made with the name and seal of the President of India. But the actual real powers will be acted through the Prime Minister of India. Next point is the in relation to the Parliament. The Parliament is the highest policy making body, policy making body of the Parliament. So it is a powerful, powerful uh, structure of the Indian country. And the Parliament means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the President also involved in the form of Parliament. So it's a legislative, the main legislative Parliament. So the Prime Minister is the leader of the uh, lower house, whereas now the Lok Sabha. So he's the head or the leader of the Lok Sabha. So as a leader of the Lok Sabha, as a party of the, as a head of the party, so as a head of the government, the the Prime Minister of India to communicate with each other, each party leaders also. So Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members, they may be different parties systems or independent members also be elected to the Parliament. So as a leader of the Lok Sabha, whatever things happen in the Lok Sabha, either in form of discussion, either in form of penny, the Prime Minister is the responsible to certainly inform the information, whatever either country's development policies or other policies, but the Prime Minister has to show as a channel of communication through the Lok Sabha. And the Prime Minister advised the President with regard to summoning and proroguing of the session of the Parliament. Certainly after the session, the Parliament sessions may be normally uh, 6 months. The session to sessions term is 6 months usually, but generally in Indian traditions we are conducting 3 types of sessions depending upon the monsoon session, next rainy session, and summer sessions. These 3 kind of sessions are conducted. So when the Parliament sessions are completed, the Prime Minister concluded 1 month or 1.5 months. A long discussions and debate will be going on that. After sessions concluded, the Prime Minister will advise to the President of India to summon the Lok Sabha and proroguing to the sessions of the Parliament. That means indefinite date. So next session's date will not be declared, right? These dates will be declared by the business advisory committees. These are one kind of parliamentary form of committees are there. Various parliamentary committees will decide the parliament procedures. And next, Prime Minister can recommend dissolution of the Lok Sabha to President at any time. So the President of India alone can't take the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. Parliament can't dissolution. Only Lok Sabha will dissolution. Dissolution means terminated. Terminated in midterm or at the time of 5 years. The dissolution of the Lok Sabha with the recommendation of the Prime Minister. So President of India alone can't take the decision, the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. If dissolution of the Lok Sabha will be happen, the next election to be conducted, and next the process will be started through the Election Commission of India (ECI). So the if majority is there or without majority is there, if Prime Minister want to continue or Prime Minister want to dissolve the government, and he anytime anytime the Prime Minister can send a letter to the President of India, then automatically the Lok Sabha will be dissolved. So we have seen a number of states and before they within 5 years, 6 months or 4 years, they want to resign and they want to go again elections. So before termination, the Prime Minister want to conduct elections and they want to go elections and they want to dissolve the Lok Sabha. And next, the Prime Minister announced the government policies on the floor of the House. So any new policies, they want to make changes. Actually, the common agenda before going to the election, the Prime Minister announced to the nation or people as in already their party mentioned in the manifestos. So according to the manifestos, the Prime Minister, whatever the president has given to the peoples, that will be reflected into policies, and that policies should be approved to the parliament in the relation to the parliament. And next, the other powers and functions. Suppose the Prime Minister is the chairman of Niti Aayog. Earlier, Niti Aayog, it was constituted very recently. Before the Niti Aayog was the Planning Commission of India. The Planning Commission of India was established during the period of first government headed by the Jawaharlal Nehru in the year of 1950, March 15. So actually the chairman of the Planning Commission was Prime Minister, and the deputy chairman is a non-politician. He was the de facto member to the deputy secretary to the vice chairman something. So he was the chairman for the Planning Commission. So nearly 65 years, the Planning Commission was continued, and recently the BJP government headed with the uh, Sri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, can abolish, abolish, abolished or replaced the Planning Commission system with the Niti Aayog. So now the highest policy decision making body is the lies with the Niti Aayog. It is not a constitutional body, but the Niti Aayog is the uh, executive order or a resolution were made by the parliament. So it's also the Niti Aayog, certain structures and functions have changed. And the structure of the Niti Aayogs were recently the priority as given to the states. So the Niti Aayog focus on the federal structure of the India. And the next body is the NDC. NDC is nothing but National Development Council. Other is also NDC. Earlier it was the 1952. It was established. It's a nothing but is a executive body. Niti Aayog is like a policy making body, and the NDC is the executive body. So whatever the Planning Commission or Niti Aayog has taken a plan approval, whether the plans are implementing in right way or not, how the plans progress were going on, and certain review meetings will be conducted by time to time through the NDC, National Development Council, is also chairman the Prime Minister of India. And the next point is the NIC, National Information Commission, is also one of the most national integrated council. Integrated council is also main at this point. And the next point is the interstate councils, zonal councils. Some council systems are adopted for the easy and smooth runaway of the administration. So interstate councils, various states are combined together. Any problems related to between state to states. And the next zonal council system is also there. Certain North Zone, South Zone, East Zone, West Zone, and Central Zone. Nearly 6 to 7 zone systems are there for the smooth run of the administrative convenience. And the National Water Resource Council is also a major, this is the head of the chairman is also Prime Minister. So the river is flows into various states from north to east or east to north and from north to south. So certain rivers are flowing in various parts. So the rivers flows different between states to states. So some states are constructing various dams and bridges. So various bridges and then the complicated. Suppose the Kaveri Dam, the Kaveri project between the Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and next then the Babli project, the constructed by the Maharashtra government, and the major water resource were to the Maharashtra, and then the fight between the Maharashtra and Telangana. These are the kinds of natures will be solved by the Prime Minister of India. And next, the Prime Minister plays a significant role in the shaping of the foreign policy of the country. So the former first government headed by the Jawaharlal Nehru, then the Panchasila Sutras were there. The Panchasila Sutras between the India and China, and then the non-aligned movement. This is one kind of foreign policies. And next, SARC, Southern Asian countries, and next G7, G8, either G15, G20, and various Indo-African summits, and various summit systems between countries affairs in diplomatic policies. So in the case of foreign policy, the Prime Minister plays a major role yes, in memorandum of understandings and any treaties between the countries to countries. Suppose in recent periods we have seen the role of Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, the contribution to the foreign policies. So, so various countries, each and every country is rotated and signed in various treaties between countries to countries. We have seen in that, and the foreign relation is the most important relations to the growth of the nations and recognition of the countries in the worldwide, right? And the UNO also play a major role to the. So then the Prime Minister also spoke in the UNO's meeting. We have seen a number of times. And the next, the Prime Minister is the chief spokesman of the union government. So during the COVID period, COVID period, so the Prime Minister has conducted a various media conference in all lines, in social media also we have seen that, and the radios and that. So time to time, the country's information and as a country's head, as a country's uh, leading government, he has to inform and to speak to the peoples and to solve the problems of the in emergency situations or normal situations. So the Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently we have seen how he acted as a agent of the COVID and what kind of plan were adapted to the eradication of the COVID, control of the COVID. And next, he is the crisis manager in chief at the political level during emergencies. So in the constitution, we have seen that Article 352, 356, and 360. These are the main national emergency, state emergency, financial emergency. In certain kind of emergency situations, the Prime Minister also acted as a crisis manager, as a crisis administrator, as a crisis leadership. Like a situational leadership, the Prime Minister has played a major role. As a leader of the nation, as a leader of the people, as a leader of the nation, he meets various sections of peoples in different states, irrespective of caste, race, anything. So always he meets in various sections of the people in different states and issues a memorandum from the regarding their problems and issues, so on. They have seen the tribal issues, some other issues, whatever the issues were the rises by the demands of the people. Suppose in the new form of Telangana state, the major issue was the separation of Telangana state from the Andhra Pradesh. This is a major issue were there. So then the Prime Minister will address the issues of the people. And next is the prime minister is the leader of party in power. Prime minister is also, suppose the party's choice. So normally the prime minister is the as a party head, as a government head. Both the head will be chief, but nowadays we have seen that the party chiefs are different and the prime minister is also different. But without party, there is no prime minister. So prime minister is also can't be deviated from the party system. So normally the prime minister India is also act as the president of the political power party. And the next, he as a political head of the services is also various services provided in the various systems of the organization. The prime minister also head of the others systems. And the next is the crisis manager. Prime minister is also a crisis manager also. And suppose if we can imagine the role of prime minister in different periods, there were a there were a lot of difference the role of prime ministers. If you can analyze from the 1950 to 1967 or up to 60 to 1990, LPG system, liberalization, privatization and globalization. And now the era of globalization, the role of prime minister was changed as a tremendous. So the tremendous changes were occurred. And when the prime minister PV Narasimha Rao, when the country was in a crisis, and foreign relationship is very foreign exchange and foreign relation was so bad during the period of 1991, and then the prime minister has taken a bold decision. The PV Narasimha Rao has taken a bold decision, and the Indian economic system is linked with the global economy in the form of liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So now this, if you can examine from 1991 to 1920, during these 30 periods of economic system, the total economic system has been changed from public sector to the private sector. So during this PPP, public private partnership system, were existed in the form of economy, and the prime minister's roles was very changed. And we can system, and then the after the 1990s onwards, the coalition government 1989, the coalition government started up to 2005. During this 15 to 20 years, so single party system was not getting majority, and 2 3 or in some time 20 parties also combined to the power. And then the coalition governments, the strong policy system were not made. So the prime minister's role was the very bounded. That means the different party system opinion should be governed by the prime minister of India. So then UPA 1 and UPA 2, the prime minister's role was very very strong, but the common minimum program system was there. So each party should respect their respective norm systems. Then the prime minister also respect them. And next, the now the when the BJP government after the UPA term is over, then the prime minister's role was very active, led by the BJP government. And the BJP government one and BJP government two we can analysis the prime minister's role was very active because of a largest seats alone. Single party system was again the majority of the getting uh, by the BJP government. So this is the system was the held by the prime minister. Now the prime minister is very strong in connection with the Indian role. So the role of prime ministers, now Ministry of Personal, Public Grievances and Pensions, the is the under control of the prime minister role, and the cabinet secretariat is also under the control of the prime minister, and all appointments of the cabinet committees is under the uh, control of the prime minister only, and the cabinet committee on security is also headed with the prime minister. Next, the Department of Atomic Energy, Space, and something systems also now the under the control of. And next, the various commissions were recommended the uh, prime minister's system. The role of prime minister should be strong, and the various during these various appointments. Uh, were taken by the government system. Now the Administrative Reform Commission 1, Administrative Reform Commission 2, the Prime Minister's role also certain limited, and the opposition party leaders' role also increased in the appointment of certain committees, chairmen and persons. Suppose if you can take example, National Information Commission is a powerful instrument to correct the corruptions of the administration. These all system also adopted, and now the various powers and functions of the prime ministers were day by day increasing, and now the security of the uh, and security of the uh, powers will be controlled by the Prime Minister of India. So Prime Minister strongs the administration system of the country is also very much strong. And then the Prime Ministers regarding the various aspects, if certain ministries or certain administrative challenges were occurred, then the Prime Minister will also head has to face these problems any kind of emergency situations occurred. So we have seen in response to the crisis, tsunami or earthquakes and some things. Have seen unexpected things. So then the prime minister's role will be very active. So the prime minister's role, relations, and contribution in the Indian Constitution was very strong, and is a parliamentary form of government. In the parliamentary form of government with a unitary features and federal features also, and then the prime minister also coordinate with the states. So India is not even a full federal structure, but a unitary features of the federal structure. So 28 states and union territories will be coordinated in various aspects with the help of the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister's roles, coordination, national integration councils, and national integration through states, union territories, and the coordination between the states to states and central to states play a major roles, and the with empower to these various states, and the prime minister has to assure that uh, central central government is one kind of party and state government is ruled by another party systems. Then the prime minister does not show a empathy and sympathy towards uh, in different parts of the states. So, so as a national integrator, as a coordinator, the prime minister has to mention and prime minister has to assurance to the peoples irrespective of the elections. As a nation of the leader, as a leader of the people, as a head of the Lok Sabha and head of the parliament and head of the country, the prime minister is to ensure and protect security to the peoples and welfare of the peoples of the 120 crores, nearly 130 crores peoples of the India's aspirations are depends upon the prime minister's role, and prime minister's capacity. So last the part of the conclusion of the Prime Minister's role, particularly in the context of the administration. Thus, the Prime Minister plays a very significant and highly crucial role in the politico-administrative system of the country. That means he is a steerman. The Prime Minister is a steerman. Steerman. He has to steer to the country. Steerman. So the is the wheel of the cart. So in various part, he is the head of the political structure, and is head of the various structure. And he played a very kind of important personality and important role. That's why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar stated that if any functionary under our constitution is to be compared with the US president, the prime minister and not the president of the union. That means the prime minister is equal. The prime minister is equal with the US president. So various authors has focused the role of prime minister is the prime minister is the key maker. He is the nothing but he is a key maker. He is not a played a smaller role. He has given a greater role in the Indian constitution. So the prime minister's role was very, very, very important in the context of economy, social, administration, the context. Thank you. Thank you.